Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Kurt, aka the Vitruvian Gamer, and today I'm doing another special video about Empires of the North, the new, or if you see this before it releases, the upcoming game by Portal Games, designed by Ignacy Cevicek, with a lot of help from Joanna Kijanka, and this is in the family of Imperial Settlers, as the title already tells you. You can also see it with the art, of course. And today I wanted to show you the 6 different factions that come into this box and what makes them special, because it's an asymmetrical game. 6 different factions, 6 different ways to play. Well, at least you can choose, of course, how you play. But anyway, I'm going to open this box again and show you the 6 factions. And here they are, the 6 clans of Empires of the North. So we have the Olaf clan of feared Vikings. We have the Heidel clan of merry and jovial Vikings. We have the Nanuryuk clan of traveling Inuits. The Panuk clan of reclusive Inuits. The MacKinnon clan of the wealthy Scots. And the Glen clan of the wise Scots. So that are the 6 clans, and I'm going to show all of them just to give you an idea of how they are different from each other. So let's start with the first clan, the Olaf clan of feared Vikings. Alright, so this first clan has 3 starting fields. One of them gives you apple, which is very important for your clan worker pawns that you can use on the rondel. So this already from the start on, you can at least give one of them a second order. But as you can see, the image showing the axe. This is a clan of conquesting, of pillaging and sailing. That's why it has a lot of cards, and I'm going to show you a couple of them that gives you an idea of how this clan will play. So you have, for example, the White Keep. It has a feature: each time you activate a conquered island, you may resolve the effect twice. So if you conquered an island, it comes into your tableau and it has actions on it, or it might have an action on it that you can use as a normal action card. Now you can activate it twice or resolve the effect twice. Pretty cool. More to come. Let's see. We have, populate to play, this one here, the boost card. This one, if you can populate, you can play this for free and you gain an additional ship, because normally each clan starts with 2 ships. Well, this clan can get 1 more. The Valkyrie is an action card in which you can spend a worker to choose one of your ships on the expedition board and immediately resolve 1 pillage. This is cool. Why? Because normally you have to wait to the sailing phase after the action phase to resolve every ship that you have sailing. With this, you can already go and pillage or conquer an island during the action phase. Very strong indeed. Next one, Quicksand. During this sail, you may immediately resolve a pillage or conquer. So again, it has boost cards that does the same thing. The Watchtower. Building bonus, 1 point for each of your conquered islands. Maximum of 6 points. So if you can keep this card long enough, you can play this and it might give you 6 points if you went conquering quite a bit. Of course, to conquer, you need to go sailing, and you have cards that allow you to spend worker and fish to go sailing. Now, if you want to do that, or if you want to sail to the distant islands, you want, of course, to have fish. And that's why they have fields, the Salmon Fjords, which, as you can see, is a little bit different from other cards, because you can put it underneath. You have to put it underneath a fish producing field, which now produces 2 if you go harvesting. Also, if you play this card, you still get the 1 fish from playing the card. And then the last one I want to show you, because you want to go conquering, you need access to go conquering and get those island cards in your tableau. You need access. You have a couple of these guardhouse fields that give you access when you harvest them. And that's, folks, that's what makes this clan powerful. Up to the next. Okay, the Drunken Vikings. Well, every time I play a first game with someone, most of them choose this clan because, of course, they're Drunken Vikings. Now, this clan starts with also 3 fields. One of them gives sheep, which is something that the previous clan didn't start with. And sheep are quite important for this clan. You will notice a lot of cards asking you to pay with sheep to get something done. For example, we have Bjarne's Tavern, in which you have to spend 1 worker and a sheep to gain points. And there are quite a bit of these cards that ask you to spend sheep. But the most important thing about this clan is they're getting drunk. So we have a new thing here which says what? The word assign. For example, the Northern Festival. You can assign 2 workers to gain 2 points, which means instead of spending the worker, you have to place the workers on this card, and they are stuck there. So if they are still on this card during the cleanup phase, you don't get them back. They're drunk and they're at the Northern Festival. Now, of course, you have cards to get them back. For example, the Sacred Obelisks. With this one, you can spend some food or stone in any combination to gain points, which is also something that there are a lot of cards of to gain points. So you can get an engine going to score points and release 1 worker. So you could get 1 worker back into your supply, which can be used again that round. So you're definitely going to need these. But assigning might also be good because, for example, you have the Tavern Construction. Each time you assign a worker, you may spend any resource to gain a point. Again, those points. And also powerful in this deck is, for example, the After Party. Assign a worker, so he becomes drunk in the After Party, to unexhaust any card in your empire. There are a couple of these things that untap cards, or unexhaust cards, I'm sorry, and that can create powerful combinations. And that's, folks, are the Drunken Vikings. Okay, the first Inuit clan, the Traveling Inuits. Well, as the word says, they're travelers. So, they start with stone, fish, and wood production, or not production, fields that you can harvest. And the cards, you will see the theme of them traveling showing up in these cards for sure. For example, we have the new plan. Spend a worker and a fish and shuffle 1 card in your empire back into your deck to gain 2 points. So it goes, you need to take one of your cards in your empire that you already built, goes back in your deck, but you get points for it. They're traveling away from that location apparently. Also, the Expedition. It's a boost card. You can play it for free if you explore. It's instant. Discard up to 3 fields in your empire to gain 2 points for each field that you discard that way. But they're gone. So that might be something for later in the game, although those fields are also worth a point. Then you have this new outpost here. Action: spend 1 worker to choose 1 field in your empire and return to your hand to gain a point or draw a card. Now, very important with this one, because if you can take back one of these into your hand, but as you can see, they have no cost to play, which means they cannot be played, which means you're stuck with these cards in your hand. But still, it might be worth it to draw those cards that you need. Might. Alright, so what else do we have? We have also this one here. Spend 1 worker and a fish to explore or sail you. So they're quite a bit about sailing as well, and about getting fish. Also ice boxes, spend a fish to gain points. So these are, I think there are 3 of them in the deck. You see with the stars here, or with they're circles. So you can get an engine going, scoring you a lot of points by getting fish. And that's what they do. They travel and they fish. That's the Traveling Inuits. Okay, on to the Reclusive Inuit. They start with fish, wood and stone fields. And They're a little bit, well, I'm not sure how I have to call them. They're, well, reclusive, as it says, and they have some interesting stuff here. So they work quite a bit with the symbols on the cards, so with the type of cards that you have. You have these ships, you have the fish here, you have the igloos and the yetis, and they have a lot of things that are combining stuff with that. For example, we have the Reindeer Raiders feature. Each time you use a yeti card or location, you may spend a worker to change or to end, because there are quite a bit of cards, and of course when I look for it I won't find it. For example, the Ice Armory, they let you spend a stone to gain an axe or a point, but with this card you can spend a worker to get both, which is pretty cool to have. So that's the Reindeer Raiders. Also here, the parlaying feature. Each time you use a ship location, you may move your ship or one of your ships up one space on the expedition board queue to or look at the top card from any island deck. So it allows you to be the first, well, to have first choice maybe, or previous choice to get earlier choice to get those islands, to pillage them or conquer them, or you even might, or you want to see what are the face down cards there, so maybe they're more interesting and you can look at them before choosing which island to conquer or pillage. So that's parlaying. The Snow Festival. Choose up to 3 cards of a different type in your empire and unexhaust them. So that's again with those symbols, you just choose 3 different ones and you can unexhaust them. Pretty powerful if you use them all and you have got enough resources to use them again. That can be a very strong turn. Ice Walls. Action. Spend 1 stone to gain a point. But more important, the building bonus. And there are multiple of these. Building bonus, get a point for each of the igloo locations in your empire. And I think there is 1 for each type of location in the deck. The Lone Explorer, a boost card, which lets you search your deck for 1 igloo card and take it in your hand, then shuffle your deck again. Pretty cool. If you are looking for a certain card, you can get it with the Lone Explorer. And cool as well, we know we need gold. Gold is wild and worth more points as well at the end of the game. Spend a worker and a fish to harvest and get a gold. So you can harvest one of your fields and you get a gold, and only cost you 1 wood to build. Pretty neat, the nearby fields. So that's the Reclusive Inuits for you up to clan number 5. And that's the wealthy Scots. They are a special bunch of folks. So they have only 2 fields to start with, but it gives you apples, which is again important for those workers that you want to give new orders. But they have a gold mine that gives you gold, which is wild. That's awesome. And they start with something that they have, which is very important, a royal bank, for example. These cards here with the pile of gold and the word storage. So you can, as an action, assign 1 gold to the royal bank to get a point. Now, in the lookout phase, or after the lookout phase, if you have at least 2 gold on the royal bank, you get 1 point or 1 gold. So just this one gives you kind of a production phase right after the lookout phase if you manage to get the stuff you need on it. And there are more of these types of cards in the deck. Also, you have quite a bit of cards that work with that type of card. For example, well, very simple, the tax collector gets you 1 gold for each one of those buildings in your empire with a maximum of 3. And gold is pretty neat to have. Or the trade deal. Spend 1 worker to release 2 goods from one of those buildings and gain 1 point. And additionally, unexhaust that. So you can play with those resources that you get and assign them back. So that might be a very cool engine, and you can get those resources back from those cards with a trade deal. Of course, you got a lot of gold. Very interesting. For example, the traveling merchant. Spend 1 gold to gain any 2 resources, because 1 gold is just 1 gold, but maybe you need more or different stuff, well, you can go and get them with the traveling merchant. And the last one I'm going to show you is Gathering Interest, which is also an instant, a boost card. Gain 1 food or fish in any combination for each of those buildings in your empire with at least 2 assigned goods. So you need to save for it, but if you can play it, then you can get a lot of fish or apples if you want to. And that are the wealthy Scots. They're the first clan I played with, and I really like them. On to the last one. And last but not least, we have the Wise Scots. And they are a bunch of folks that do also special things, honestly. They start with wood, stone and fish. They have quite a bit of these cards here, well, 2 of them, which is a special one. So you can build this, normally you have to attach it to a field that gives you that production. But this one you can choose either, if you have a field that gives you apples, you can put it underneath that one, but you can also play it as a normal field. Pretty cool. Then the biggest special thing about this clan is these things here, and there are a bunch of these as well. The Skillful Crew, for example, feature, it's a copy of one of these types of buildings. So if you have one of those buildings, let's see if I can get one pretty quick. Yes, this one here has one of the tables here. You can attach it to it, so you know that it is a copy. And this is again a second version of this one. Pretty cool, right? And well, now you have 2 of them. Maybe you don't want that anymore after a while. Well, you might want to do the Easter Island. Spend a worker to gain a point or move a copy to another card. But you still have to look at the restrictions of it. But you have some ways to mitigate all that stuff. Another thing that they do quite a bit is work with discarding cards. For example, the shipyard, spend a wood and discard a card to take any nearby island and immediately add it to your empire. So it costs you wood and a card, but you get to conquer an island for free without sailing, without doing anything. Take the card. You might take the card that an enemy needs, or just one that you really want. Another discard, for example, is Risky Expedition. Discard a card from your hand to gain gold and a point. Can be very handy indeed. What they also have is a lot of cards that give you a certain action that you normally have to spend your clan pawn on. For example, the Brave Sailors spend 2 workers to sail. It's expensive, but it might be very useful. And also, one thing we haven't seen yet, the competition. Spend a stone and a wood and an apple to gain 2 points and retrieve a worker. It's not the same as with the Drunken guys. No, this one lets you take one of your spent workers back into your supply, and that can be used again. So that's also pretty neat. It costs you something, but it might be what you need at that moment. And that's it, folks. That's clan number 6. We had all 6 of them. So I just wanted to show you that. I hope you enjoyed this video. And who knows, there's this map in the box with a bunch of other clans. I see the Aztecs, I see aliens even, I see Native Americans and Indian folks and the Russians and many more here in Australia as well. So there might be more, and there's Japan. All right, so we'll see what the future brings. But for now, these are the 6 different clans that play quite differently, believe me, for Empires of the North. Thank you for watching, and see you all in the future. Bye bye.